What's up, everybody? It's Beyond the Paranormal Podcast time. It's Tuesday, and I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. And I'm always bringing you guys an awesome interview. And I got my good friend that's on the podcast right now, Mr. Gregg TJ Justice, however you want to call him. He is the BOO Crewe founder from Tennessee and owner and event manager at Paranormal Adventures Event Management. So we got a lot of stuff to cover here. And what's up, my friend? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing good. Glad to get you on the podcast finally.
Yeah, I know.
It's been like 18
I've been
years.
getting at it for a while, and I think you just finally you took the hint.
Sometimes you have to, like punch me and hound on me, and
Keep poking until
yeah. Sometimes you poke the bear, and the bear's like, okay, all right, fine. Give me the weight loss surgery. I don't care. So how you been?
I've been good, man. Just got done with an event this past weekend at Oldstone Jail and Octagon Hall back-to-back nights. So
Two.
It was. It's a lot, but I like doing those locations so much that I really don't mind doing back-to-back nights there. So.
Well, look what we did a couple weeks ago at the Franklin Historical Society, and plus the Oldstone Jail. I mean, we did 3 locations pretty much in one night.
I know that was pretty much the way it was Friday night too, because when you rent out the Oldstone Jail, you pretty much get the Historic Society, I guess, for free, or you get it included, or whatever you want to say. So.
Do you feel like, and I love the Historical Society and the Oldstone Jail, but I feel like the jail has, I don't know, man, it just felt like that night we were there, and this is going to be up on YouTube, on our YouTube page for the Ghost Hunter guys when we do get all this fixed, because there's a lot of stuff we got to go over still.
A lot.
Do you think that the jail was more prominent as far as activity wise?
I think the jail has more sustainable or more activity that you can kind of bank on most of the time. The Historic Society is different because there's all kinds of artifacts in the Historic Society, and you never know what spirit or whatever is attached to one of those items he has in there. And they're getting new items all the time, or moving items, getting them out of storage, changing things around. So it kind of changes the spirits around a little bit too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And there's stuff, and like you said, there's stuff that's coming in and out left and right. And I think Billy said he was getting ready to have a Model T car put in there soon.
Yeah.
And now look, man, there's been like many, businesses that's been in that location. A shirt gallery, not a shirt gallery, but a shirt business that was in there for, I don't know how long it was in there, and then a
car repair place.
Yep, so much stuff in there, and you don't know who really you're talking with.
No, I mean, you've got a couple that kind of pop in and out, kind of on the regular, like the Hunter family. The guy that is, I forget his name,
Haas.
At the top of my head, Haas, yeah, the guy that's in the workshop. And when me and Justin are there in particular, you have Anna and her mom, Rosa.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah.
And you got to witness that one firsthand, pretty much. So.
Folks, I have never seen an Estes method done live in front of me. And it took me by surprise. I am very shocked what happened, and I'm not going to give any details or anything because you're just going to have to go watch the premiere on the YouTube channel when this happens.
It was something to see, and like
and another thing,
people does Estes methods, but I don't think they do them the way Justin does them, because they're just worried about what is coming through the headphones. You can't worry about just what is coming through the headphones. You got to kind of focus more and kind of open up a little bit more and let them answer, and sometimes they'll answer like in your third eye, like right here, or they'll show you a picture or something, and then they'll have like a corresponding word with it or something. But and you kind of got to figure out which ones to listen to the most, basically.
There's a question that I asked, and Justin replied to it. I mean, he replied several times to some of the stuff that we asked, but the thing that was so prominent to me was that I asked a question that only me and Robert knew the answer to.
Yeah.
And then he came through with it, and I was like, "Oh my God, Becky!"
Yeah,
Yeah,
Justin doesn't even know who that is.
yeah, that's the crazy part. I mean, that
He
was
was
just
like, "Who is that?" And I kind of told him, and he's like, I've never seen him on Facebook, whatever, nothing like that." And Justin had double earphones in too. It wasn't just one set of
right.
earphones; it was double earphones.
Yeah, he sure did. He had double earphones on. I remember that. And for him to come back and say that, I was floored. I was like, "Oh my God!" And then it wasn't long after that, then I saw that apparition in the back that took off,
Yeah,
and that was pretty cool. So there's a lot of things that's coming up that's going to be in this YouTube premiere, as I call it. So, and then plus we're going to be working again in a couple of weeks. Well, not a couple of weeks, but in July at Octagon Hall. Plus, we're going to do some other stuff in June. I'm pretty sure in June we're going to do several other places, but we're one thing at a time because all these things cost money and we don't have money tree or anything like that. So,
yeah, that's true.
so what got you into the paranormal field, man? What was it that irked your interest, man, or kind of piqued your interest?
Um, I guess I've kind of always been in it a little bit. Um, Especially when I was younger, I seen the apparition of my dad's brother, that had been dead for like 3 or 4 years, but he was very, very protective of me when he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like really, really upset. I don't know what I was upset over, but I just know I was like beyond like comforting upset with dad, and he just appeared a full body apparition in my bedroom. And he's like, okay, he said, it's going to be okay. He said, that's your dad's job to protect you and all that. And he's disappeared. So, and after that, I calmed down. Um, but, and I think after that, I kind of turned it off for a while, until my papa passed away. And when he passed away, he came to me basically in my bedroom, and like I always sleep with a fan, and I always have a fan on my nightstand, and I was upset again because he had passed, and then the fan kept falling off onto my feet, and it had rubber feet. It had never moved at all the whole time that it had been sitting there, like almost a year, I think. Never moved, and it fell off a couple of times. I put it back, and then the third time it went over my feet and landed in the middle of the bed. And I was
Jeez.
like, "Okay, Papa, I know you're all right. Thank you for telling me." And it quit. Um, and I, after that, I started watching some of the ghost hunting shows, things like that. And then when my grandma, my nanny, and my dad passed away, that's when I decided, well, you only get one life. You might as well do what you want to do. And I'm going to freaking find out if there's anything on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I done. And I went to the freaking most haunted location in damn United States, Waverly Hills, as my first like paranormal hunt. And that place is that some of the crap I've seen in there, man. It's just, mm,
Oh, you can hold the audio right there. It's perfect. That is perfect, perfect. See, okay, you had good Waverly experiences. I have not.
I think a lot of times it's who you go with. If if
I
you
mean,
like match energies and stuff, I think you're going to get a whole lot more. And at the time, when I was just going into the paranormal, like where we had it as a private rental, I would just wander off and crack by myself.
mhm.
And that's kind of where I caught most of my stuff is when I wandered off by myself.
See, man, I'm just I can't shut it off. It's like I can't. It's like I'm so hyped up that I want to see something, and I
Yeah,
guess I'm just I don't know.
I
I
think,
guess I'm just too hyped up, and I just need to calm down and just relax.
yeah, I've just like the next time you go into one, just relax and like don't have any expectations. Just let happen what's going to happen.
Yeah,
And that's basically really the best way to get evidence in my book is because you can't go in there like all have all kinds of anxiety and all that stuff because you're not going to do or you're not going to say the right things to get the evidence or something like that. So
yeah, and plus the last time we went to Octagon, we had so many things that went haywire. Not as far as like paranormal wise, but as far as like personally, I mean, just anything and everything just went bad that night. So
I think sometimes the spirits are behind that too because I think sometimes they don't want you to come or they try to test you to see if you're going to still come if they throw all this stuff at you.
whatever you did, wherever you moved the phone, leave it right there. I can hear you perfect. Good. Yeah, I think you're right, man. And me and Roberts even talked about that. You know, it's like obstacles. It's like, you know, they're putting through these obstacles just to see if you'll still come.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going. I'll be there come hell or high water. We will be there
Yeah.
because Octagon Hall is one of my top is in my top 5 to go to.
Hmm. Well, I know it didn't disappoint this past Saturday either.
I
So
don't want to know. I don't want to know because I get my, you know what I mean. That's
yeah,
the thing. When I see these other locations and people posting and getting this and getting that, I'm like, yeah, it's not
yeah,
like a Walmart. You can't go to one of these places and be like a Walmart and go in there. It's no, it's nothing like that.
yeah,
So, yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna have to try to relax and just let it be and let whatever happens happens for sure.
yeah. That's I usually have anxiety and stuff before events, but I've kind of calmed down quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
It seems like the people that buy the ticket for the events actually get more evidence and stuff because I'm more calm too.
yeah.
Uh, and not like running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So,
But do you remember your reaction when you got your first EVP on recorder though? Do you remember it possibly?
um, I don't know, but I'm sure it involved a cuss word. Like, you know, like,
Hey,
what
this is
crap was that? You know?
this is the first time, and I'll just go and say it right now. Me and Greg's been talking about this. We've been keeping in touch. Like we always keep in touch. But as far as like this past investigation that we did, the first time we ever got a FU,
Yeah.
very first time that something's told me FU. And I'm like, all right, no FU.
Mhm. It
And
told me to do that in the jail this past
that
Friday.
was in the jail.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
was it on the first floor?
Yep.
Yep, that's
It's
yep.
it's the dude that's in the second cell on the left when you go in.
Hmm.
Because we had Justin do a Estes in that, and me and JB who does the events with us quite a bit. We seen like a 6 foot, 7 foot shadow standing behind him when he was doing the Estes. So, and he was whatever is in there. The dude doesn't like really to talk to people or whatever, and he was just cussing, and he called JB the P word, and
Wow.
and yeah.
Wow. So if that's the case, man, that's the cell that Robert was in, and he didn't get Nothing.
I don't know, man. It's
It's just weird. I guess it's the vibe you give off. Rob's just a calm guy.
yeah.
He don't give a fuck. He
Yeah.
don't care.
Well, all the event attendees that was with us, they were in the cell across from where Justin was doing the STs. And of course they was getting some he was answering some of theirs, but he also was getting that guy that's in that second cell, and
Man, I'm telling you, dude, he come across out of nowhere. And I think he was just blurting it out because it's like a real low. It's like, F you. Okay, buddy.
Yep.
I was like, wow. All righty. I remember next time I come down there, you're your head ghost.
Yeah. And I really think it's because of all that sheriff and police memorabilia that's in that cell.
Oh, okay.
Because he doesn't like all that being in there because he was incarcerated there or something, and you put all that stuff, moralizing all these sheriffs and deputies and wardens and all that, and he's just like,
Yeah.
no, it's not happening.
So, over the course of the years that you've been doing this, what kind of hauntings have you come across?
Like, are you meaning like the different types, like how you categorize?
Yeah, like what type of hauntings have you went into? Like, not poltergeist stuff like that. I'm just talking about like what type of hauntings, like
yeah,
apparitions being seen a lot, just disembodied voices that mean you heard when we were on the.
At all, because I had been a regular at Old South Pittsburgh for several years.
It's a great place.
Yeah, before the pandemic, mostly, and you got pretty much a range of activity there, anywhere from shadow people to disembodied voices to all kinds of EVPs, noises, stuff moving, which Octagon also has a whole lot of that. And Octagon also has Bigfoot and cryptid sightings, and they also have UFO sightings.
So, yeah, that's crazy. That is so crazy.
And it's like a paranormal Bermuda Triangle or something. I don't know.
See, when we were there back in 2013, I didn't even realize that they had Bigfoot sightings, or it wasn't even told us.
Well, there was another person that was over it. It wasn't Bear. I think the spirits and things really, really like Bear.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
Bear's a good person.
Yeah, he's a great person, and a great friend. And I mean, and I've seen the picture myself this past weekend on Saturday. Tracy, who fills in for Bear sometimes, she had, or her team had gotten a picture out back of a train that was on fire, and there's no train tracks back there anymore.
He was telling me about that.
Back there anymore.
No, there's just a big field.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah, and another crazy thing that happened to me at Octagon was in 2021, when we had an event there. I had left my drink on the back porch and went out there by myself to get the drink, and it was in daylight too. It was like 5 o'clock or something. And then all of a sudden, like with like a snap of the finger, I went back to when there was sleighs and things, and it looked like an old like movie picture playing for like 30 seconds, and then it snapped back out. But I seen all the houses that were still standing, some of them that aren't standing now, like smoke coming out of the chimney, slaves working the gardens, working with the animals, all that stuff. And I don't know how it happened. It just kind of happened out of nowhere.
And then we got sightings of Dogman down there, supposedly.
Yeah.
So there's that. Man, oh man. Cannot wait to go back. Cannot wait. July cannot get here soon enough for us to go back down there, man. I'm chomping at the bit. That's for sure.
I know it.
So how do you go about getting spirits to interact with you when you're not getting any activity, or can you?
A lot of times, uh, either before events or before investigations, we'll walk through and see, like me and Justin in particular, will walk through and see like where we can feel our environmental changes and things in the location. And a lot of times, if you can't get them to do anything else, he does the Estes and
Oh yeah,
flashes. That's it. Like,
yeah, it's on.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think too. I when I was at the historical society, I mean, I was on edge. I was antsy.
mm-hmm.
I just couldn't calm down. And then like when you and Justin come in, it was like this full pack of energy just hit me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh my god. And then I got calm.
Yeah,
It was yeah, yeah. Wow, I can't explain it. It's just like everything was taken away from me
yeah,
in a good way, not in a bad way. Just all the negative stuff was taken away.
yeah.
So
You have
that's
any questions for him? He's sitting right here next to me. He
tell him
got
hop on here.
some work.
Tell him hop on here. I don't care, folks. If you have any questions out here for Greg or myself or whatever, even Justin, put them in the chat room. We'll answer them as best as we can. Because Greg's done a lot more stuff than I have here lately, and I kind of kick myself for not staying with it. But
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to break away and get a fresh start again. So,
Yeah.
what's your guys' biggest mistake in the field that you both have built on and got better with, possibly? Has there been something that you've done and been like, oh God, I should never done this. Let me fix this.
For me, not in a while, especially with spirits. There's some people that own some locations that I'm not so not so fond of anymore. But I mean
I'll be
that's a whole nother.
That's like a living line.
Yeah. Hey John, can you send him the link so he can get on? I can't. Where I'm on my phone, I can't get us both on.
I would have to hang on. Let's see. Yeah, hang on. It's going to take me a bit.
Okay.
Copy. I got some back in the Facebooks.
While you're doing that, but yeah, I've done stuff for some of the location owners and things and helped them with a lot of things, and then you just kind of get run over and stepped on and all that stuff. So
yeah. No. That no. Learn from your mistakes and just go on, man. It's
yeah, and you just eventually don't work with them anymore. Or eventually don't, go to their location anymore. No matter how good the location is. So
let me find Justin on here.
he'll send it their messenger for you.
I think. There he is. Good Lord, you're hiding down here, Justin. There you go. Now I'm off the Facebooks.
Off the Facebooks.
Dude, I'm like so excited about. There's so many things that's going on with the other podcasts, Bots Mayhem Hour now, plus this, and
yeah,
so many things going on right now. Like we just announced a big, huge metal show coming to Pikeville.
Yeah, I've seen that, man. That's cool.
Lamb of God. I mean, that's just like it's like a metal, Merry Metalmas for all of us metal guys. It's like, geez.
Yeah, there. A couple years ago, they wouldn't even talk about bringing stuff like that back anymore, and I'm glad they're starting to bring some more stuff like that back.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I hope that we can get us a full spectrum camera and take some photos at Octagon. I'm very inquisitive to try that.
Actually, I have a full spectrum camera.
Bring your stuff too.
I will bring it. I will
See,
bring.
folks, we're talking about all this paranormal. We're always working on something. We're always doing something.
I think it was actually one that I bought off of you. It still works. It's been several years ago. I bought it off of you.
Hey, yeah, I'm just slowly getting back into it, and I'm glad I am actually.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's Justin. There's my buddy. All right, so what's been a location for the both of you that's pushed you guys to your limits during your paranormal investigations? Has there been one where you just said, all right, we got to stop, we got to go back and recharge, and then you're still not sure if you definitely want to go back in?
For me, it would be the Antoinette Hall in Pulaski. We had an event there. I think it was in 22, wasn't it? Or 21. It was 20. It was 21 again. And
Yeah,
there is a lawyer's spirit that's there that he was closeted. He was a closeted gay man.
Oh yeah, though. Okay.
And he jumped me, and we like to never got him out. Like, he was in my stomach. Like Justin, Jack Kenna, all of them was like, everybody was trying everything they could to get him out, and he would not let go. It took at least an hour and a half, and it made me sick.
Oh yeah.
They said you could see his hands inside of my stomach. It was one of the craziest things. Like, it was crazy.
And to add to that, John, when he got jumped, it was when I was doing the Estes method.
Stop. I'm telling you, folks, if you can get with somebody who, and I'm not saying this to bash nobody out there, but get with somebody who actually knows what they're doing with this Estes method. Just like Greg said, don't just listen to words that's spitting out through it. I mean, you got to really focus on. See, because that's what I thought. I thought you need to focus on it and look, for specific words and a specific voice.
Yeah.
If you get with somebody like that, oh my God, it's like a popcorn machine going off.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
when it starts.
Like when I was doing that Estes method too, there were the other spirits besides the one that jumped him that were telling me, through me, warning Greg that he was coming. And it said, get out of the way, he's coming, run. And then all of a sudden, boom, it hit him like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, I was distracted talking to one of the other people that was at the event, and I didn't hear it warning me before it happened.
Yeah, I bet you scared the crap out of them.
It probably did, because I had to go lay in the seats for a while, and I had people coming and checking on me, and they were just like their eyes was this wide. They were like, we don't know what to do.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, me sitting there watching Justin go through what he went through and the warnings too, with that little helper, what he did. Tommy, there was warnings, but I didn't take it as a warning. But now after I look back on it, yeah. But how do you, I don't know, man. I felt like, honestly, that I was getting drained too.
You were, because when I had the FLIR on, where you were sitting right in front of Justin, like several feet away,
yeah,
your energy was kind of meeting in the middle, because that one artifact that was in between you, I think it was like a wagon or something.
Oh yeah, it is right.
It started having it started changing colors too.
The heat signature on it
The
started
heat
lighting
signature
up.
did.
Mm-hmm.
What really floored me, like I said, was the answer to my question that me and Robert on. I'll talk this today. I die, and and then Justin speaking Spanish,
Yeah.
fluent Spanish. I mean, good Spanish, and the boy don't know hola from STO from pickle bean to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he knows a little bit of Spanish, but he don't know like
not like that.
conversational Spanish. Like, and he's even taught German before, like conversational German at the Lotes house that's here in Franklin, Tennessee. Because the Loteses was from Germany.
They were
originally.
They were Bavarian from Germany.
Jeez, folks. See, that's insane.
And he said, "Hold on, wait a minute," in German.
Because they were all kind of getting excited about it, because I had started speaking German actually right before that, and so they were asking like 9 million questions, and the spirit came through me. I spoke perfect Bavarian accent German, and I was like, "Hold on, wait a minute."
Yeah, yeah, and luckily JB's mom lived in Germany for a while, and she knew what he was saying, and she was actually asking him questions and stuff in German, and he would answer.
Oh man,
I would have never known what she was asking. There's no there's no way to be like, oh yeah, I think this is what she's saying.
I think next time what we'll do, if Justin's okay with it and you're okay with it, Greg, is we'll go away from Justin. We'll go upstairs and we'll do the double earphone again, like we did at Historical Society.
Yeah,
and we'll just ask questions up there and see if you can read them. Pick it up down there and have a recorder set up and going. That'd be amazing. That'd be freaking amazing.
Will this be at the college, the hospital on College Hill?
No, that's going to be there too. So
I'd rather we tried at Octagon because I kind of know like the spirits that are there.
Yeah.
Well, the spirits that are at Octagon, I feel like I've come and done the Estes so much there that we're like on the same page. Yeah. So like I feel like they're kind of protective of me, so I wouldn't feel like I was in danger.
Sure.
Like the hospital on College Hill, there is some nasty stuff in that basement.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the crazy thing. Me being gung-ho, and I didn't... Oh, Greg knows me too well. I'm gung-ho. I just go. I don't care.
I don't have fear. Like that's what my big thing is people like, you know, what you saw and like what we saw in our investigation and other places I've gone and done it. People were like, well, aren't you scared? And I was like, no. Because you bring the energy you bring into it is what you're gonna get.
Okie dokie. So
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that, like the energy you bring into it is what you're gonna get in return. So
exactly.
You go into it with fear and you're like fearing of doom and gloom and what's gonna happen. That's what you're gonna get.
So I felt fine going into this place. I didn't do any research on it. Didn't even know Abe from Eve to the hole in the ground about this place because I was so disappointed with like Waverly and all these other locations.
Yeah,
I was like, it's either suck it up, Buttercup, or back out. So, and I had several conversations with myself, and I'll get into that here in just a few minutes. But when we got there, we got set up. I sit on the second floor in the little cubby there as you come up the steps right in front of the elevator. Pitch black. I sit there by myself for a while. And I was like, all right, buddy, man up or go home. This is it. Sitting there in pitch black, not knowing what this location has, not knowing anything about it, and getting some fabulous EVPs and seeing a shadow figure there that from the third floor came down and kept picking around, as I call them, peekers. And I finally just said, you know what? Yeah, I'm back into this. But I made the biggest mistake, and I will never, ever do it again. Because even Robert said this. He said, you were doing absolutely great. You were doing fine. And then when we got back to the third floor and where Mo's room's at, I still say we got one of the best most incredible EVPs ever from that location, hands down. I'll put that up with anybody's. But I made the mistake of saying, you can use my energy.
Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour, I was dead. I was comped out. I was ready to go home. I was ready for my teddy bear to go to bed. I was done. Done.
Yeah. Well, that location, actually, I did make a mistake there too, but it was an unintentional mistake.
Mm.
It was more of an assumption. And you know what happens when you assume. So.
Well, I mean, one of our other teammates, the camera was dying, and they're like, well, go get, I think, I left the charging cord on the second floor. Go see if you can find it. I said, okay, I'll go see if I can find it. Maybe 10 minutes or something elapsed, and went back down there and thought Justin and the other teammate was still down there, because when I was hooking the charging cable up to the camera, I could hear them talking behind me. I said, well, okay, something must have happened down there or something. And they went down there and they're doing an EVP session or something, or seeing what's down there. So after I got everything hooked back up, I go down there and there's not a soul down there.
God, it's so awesome.
And it's the place where the old cafeteria was.
Now, where's that at?
That's in the basement. That's in the basement.
In the basement. Okay.
Yeah, on the opposite side of where like the X-ray rooms and stuff are. It's on the opposite side.
When you come down the stairs all the way to the basement, it kind of makes like an L shape at first, and it's like you turn a corner and there's a little hallway, and then that little hallway will dead into a corner, and then if you turn right, that's how you get back into the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
And if you turn left, that's the long hallway where the peds used to be, and the X-ray rooms are at the end.
Yeah. So I walked down there to see if they were down there, the hallway towards the cafeteria. And this hallway, you can maybe get like 1.5 people like in the hallway at the same time.
Oh, wow.
It's a very, very narrow hallway. And it even had like caution tape hanging down because there were beams that were sticking out, and they didn't want you to hit your head or whatever. So after I figured out they wasn't down there, I turn around to come back to like this little central area where you can go one way or the other. And all of a sudden I hear that caution tape going, and I was like, holy shit, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Wow.
And I'm like, I hit it, and it's got like 2 pretty steep like floors of stairs to get back up to the first floor. I hit one step on each one of those stairs, and I was on the first floor cussing and everything else.
Look, if we go over there and you hear something thud on the floor and you hear something, help me Jesus, oh help me Jesus, you better come to me because I'm crawling. I can't run fast.
But
I can't run.
It was a weird feeling because I just knew if I stopped, it was going to jump me, or it was going to do something to me.
See, I kind of got the same deal you did. I got different vibes on each floor. It was like, ooh, third floor kind of uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Because
there's I call it a corridor, but you go down that one hall and then you open up the door, it goes in, it forks out to another big long hall. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like 2 different worlds. It's like so different. And especially sitting there in that red light, we see that exit light where it shines so bright.
Yeah.
That's where I kept seeing the peekers. That's where I kept seeing the peeker poke around its head, and actually saw the hand come around like this.
Yeah.
Just like I just saw like the floor, like it was grabbing onto the door. I was like, oh man. Cause when I tell Robert something, Robert listens to me a lot. He's like, yeah, dude, if you're saying you're seeing it, I believe you. Cause when we do stuff like that, man, we keep each other safe. Cause you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, you're like us. Like you don't. If you don't see it, you don't say that you see it. Like it's there, whether somebody else seen it or not. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
you definitely have to tell somebody to warn them because you never know. Like you said, you never know what they're going to do. Especially certain locations.
Like the one I saw down on the second floor at the Historical Society after the Estes method. Remember I don't
Yeah,
know if it was Thomas, that little effer, or what, but somebody took off running.
I would say it was Thomas. Yeah.
There's 5.5 feet, 6 feet tall, and then I caught the corner of it going to where the picture display was that was hanging down.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert said when he got over there, he said all those pictures, man, were just going like
I
crazy.
could see them from
They
where
were
I was.
swinging,
They
yeah.
were swinging. Yeah.
So I saw. Well, I knew I caught it. I caught you, buddy. I got
Yeah.
you. So
Well, if it was 5.5 or 6 foot tall, it's no kid, and
that's what I'm saying.
that's why I pulled Justin, because I'm like, okay, if he goes around and does that to him, what he done, and I'm not gonna say it because I know you want to show it on YouTube, but that's why I pulled him, because I'm like, what else is he gonna do? And
Yeah.
I've had enough experiences myself with stuff jumping me or trying to jump me, that I didn't want somebody else to have to go through that.
So has there been a location for you guys that you've used your equipment that spirits will only communicate with them other than getting like an EVP or anything? You've had no interaction with them whatsoever other than just the equipment only.
Me, no.
Okay.
It's been a while since I have, but like you, I went to Octagon in like 2013, didn't get a thing. But I think, now that the people who have it are in there, like Bear, Billy and Tanya, Sims, and their team, like the spirits really like them, and they're more interactive and stuff. And I went with other people too that our energies probably wasn't as in tune with each other as it could have been. Like I literally slept on a couch in the museum part on the first floor because there was nothing going on.
Yeah. And it sucks as you're going to these places and you're traveling a lot, a lot of time into this.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks, but you know what, man? It's well worth the trip to go because you can say you've been there. And even if I get an EVP from the location that I'm pleased with, that's well worth it. Like I keep going back to this, man. What we did for that past investigation, man, that SS method was like that was every bit of it.
Yeah.
Like it's done. Yeah, I'm done. I'm ready to go home.
Yeah. And usually if the place is like, isn't as active or whatever, we'll do the Estes method, and most of the time it sets that place on fire.
Yeah. And I don't know why. It's like I guess it just opens the spirit world up. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think it lets them know that you're serious about talking to them, contacting them, learning their story, whatever they want to do. At the time you're there.
Here's another big one for me, and I wholeheartedly believe in this. But do you guys feel location can consume you? As in you researching and investigating that place over and over and over. You just cannot get away. You have to keep coming back to it.
I think so. Yeah.
As far as research, I'm kind of like how you said you were. I think you said at College Hill, the hospital. I just go into it blind because there is so much you can get lost in when you're reading all the paranormal history of a location. So I try to go in and just see. For one, I'm kind of testing myself, and because I'm trying to see what I can actually pick up on my own versus being like reading it off of a Google or being told it by someone else. see what I can pick up on, and it's more validating for me.
See, that's what I told Greg earlier. Sometimes I like to go in blind, but then there's sometimes I want to know a little bit about the the history, because I don't want to go in there blind and be in some person's room that's passed away and me throwing out all these names and somebody go back and watch and be like, this guy don't know what the hell he's doing, but oh yeah.
I know. Usually it's me or Renee, one of our other teammates, that knows the history of the locations. And I have actively investigated quite a few more years than Justin has. So I've gone back to these places like several times, and like all the information just kind of compounds. So I know it, but I don't expect it. That's the difference. Some people know it and they expect that certain thing to happen. I know it and I don't expect it. The only time that I do collaborate with the history is when something comes up that I know is part of that building's history.
And what drives me up the wall, man, is like you see all these YouTubers putting on their ghost videos like demon. That is so a bunch of crock of crap, man. You're going to get these people who want to get to the paranormal field that are expecting to go to a place. I saw this on YouTube and there's a demon here. No, there's not.
Yeah.
Stop clickbaiting.
Yeah, exactly. I had a really good friend of mine. Well, she's still a really good friend of mine, but she I wanted to take her ghost hunting because I have a feeling before I asked her, I had a feeling that she had some abilities that she wasn't even aware of. And she was never been to a paranormal event, never done anything like that. And she said, I would love to. She goes, I'm just afraid a demon's going to get me. And I'm like, a demon is not going to get you.
No.
I'm like, if you could rattle off the things that are more likely to happen to you than being harmed by a demon, you are 3 times more likely to win Powerball than you are to be possessed by a demon.
I like seeing people's reaction when you hear like a disembodied voice, because me and Greg was in the jail. And we're just standing there. We're taking a break while you and Robert went over to the living quarters. There was a disembodied voice right close to me, and it was so loud that Greg heard it, because he looked at me when I looked at him. I was like, "Did you hear that?" He's like, "You ain't that like Justin?" And no,
yeah,
no. That was good. That's also going to be going over. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in this these two. A lot of stuff.
I mean, the closest thing to a so-called demon that I have come in contact with would be whatever is in that basement at the old hospital on College Hill. That thing, I could feel the evil coming off of it.
Really?
I didn't say it was a demon.
No.
But it was definitely going to harm me.
Well, that, and I wasn't even doing an Estes. We were just doing like a spirit box. And this thing straight up asked one of our teammates if it could have me.
Yeah. Whoa. It was Renee, and she's like, "No, you can't have him." She's like, "What the hell's your problem?" that's basically what she is. She's like,
I think before we end our investigation that night, we do an Estes method down there.
Yeah.
I would say start it probably with that, or at least close to the start of it.
Or you could probably even do it on the first floor and still get...
There's so much...
Now that first floor, man's got a chill vibe. I can sleep down there.
The basement, you have the peds, so you have children. Then you have nurses. There was a nurse, if you remember, Greg. There was a nurse that was a closeted nurse that kept trying to, that he was wanting to follow me home.
Oh, wow.
And then there was, but we kind of found out through the Estes method and through some other EVPs and spirit box stuff that he was not a friendly and that he had harmed people.
Still there? Did I lose Greg? Justin, can you hear me?
It's lost or something.
Can you hear me?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
There we go. My connection just died.
Oh, you can hear me okay?
Anyway,
can you hear me?
Yeah, it's crazy. What was I saying anyway?
Hold on. Hold on 1 second.
I think you were talking about the closeted nurse.
Yeah. It's, and a lot of times, especially with me and Justin, we like tend to attract minorities, children, women, closeted, like gay and lesbian people, or even I don't think we've run across one that was out because of the times.
Yes, we did.
Did we?
The Haunted Majestic.
Oh, okay.
Well, they were out.
They weren't out.
No, they weren't out, but they were out with each other. But
that's another place, dude. The Haunted Majestic. We had an epic Estes method there.
We'll have to check that out. We'll have to go.
Yeah.
There.
Like we, Justin was in like the refrigerator, basically.
No,
it was the freezer.
It was the morgue on the ship, and it was the body box. It was the freezer where they had the dead bodies. And
is this the one over in West Virginia?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And I was sitting in the body box, and they were outside like 2 walls away from where I was. And it was Greg, it was our teammate Renee, and it was our teammate Connie. And they were asking the questions, and there was a couple of men that were sailors or Army, whatever branch of the military they were. They were on this boat, and they were secret lovers.
Mm.
And their commanding officer found out about it, and he threatened to throw them overboard.
Wow.
And so, but he was an older, like crotchety old man, and he came through too. So he came through, and both of them came through. And yeah, like it was so crazy because our teammate Connie, the 2 men, the lovers, they were both very curious and very positive and very I guess it felt like they were just pleasantly surprised to kind of meet family and kind of have a conversation about it. And they were talking to them and describing their relationship, describing, themselves, but then they interacted with our teammates too. One of them actually touched Connie's face, and she felt a cold hand touch her face. It was crazy.
Do you guys feel people misunderstand now this is what I'm saying here, folks. Do you feel like people misunderstand what paranormal and paranormal investigations are? Do you think people get those 2 mixed up?
Yeah, I feel like paranormal investigations, and I hate to name drop, but I feel like what people have in their head when they hear paranormal investigations is they have Zach Bagans. Mute. Okay. So is they have like Zach Bagans.
I have to boot Greg out here. You can just use yours.
Okay.
Something's wrong with it's the spirits. It's messing with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
I feel like
I feel like when people hear paranormal investigations, they think of immediately like Zach Bagan.
Yeah.
And I think they're like, oh, there's a demon, and there's and people are just running around going, oh, and like, oh, and then like seeing stuff and jumping and getting scared. I'm like, it's not that. It's not about. I mean, sure, that's some of it, but it's not all what it is. And it's not about what kind of. First of all, we don't provoke things because he definitely did that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we don't go looking to see how pissed we can make some spirits to see what they can do to us or whatever. It's about mutual respect. So if you go into it and you have a level of respect with the individual or entity or spirit that you're communicating with, then you will have a better chance of having open line of communication, and it's a back and forth, not them just kind of like, giving out 1 or 2 word responses. We have conversations.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I'm horrible with my questions because I think of stuff that I'm going to answer, but when I get there, I just go completely blank. It's like gone.
Yeah. A lot. We also use that Spirit Talker app, which is very, very good. And a lot of times we get respectful on there, like they're thanking us for being respectful and talking to them like
with dignity and respect.
Dignity and respect.
Yeah.
And not asking the same questions over and over again, like how many times do you have to ask, are you here? If something's talking to you, yeah, something's there.
Yeah. I'm kind of guilty of that because, I mean, it's like your standard quote questions, and I don't know. I'm going to have to kick up the ball a little bit. I'm going to have to cheer it up a little bit there.
I mean, you always want to try to ask some of the very basic questions, like just so you can try to identify what you're speaking with. But as far as like that, I think I kind of cringe when like people say, do you know how you died? Do you know that you're dead? Stuff like that. And I'm just like, it's so overdone. I'm like,
which is kind of wrong to ask them anyway, because some of them doesn't know that they're dead. And we've had several of them ask us if they are dead, and we don't even really want to answer them because you never know what's going to happen. Like, you don't know if the spirit's going to like go off the deep end and like hurt you because you told them and whatever.
Yeah.
But and some of them you just feel for emotionally, and you can't bring yourself to tell them that they're actually dead.
Got 2 more questions for you guys. What's the most underrated piece of equipment these days that everyone should have? Because I know back in the day, we've always said recorder, have yourself a recorder, your trusty recorder. But there's some more cool stuff that's been added. I mean, there's good designers that's out there right now, like that Epic box. Love that Epic box, which Robert Walzak, please send that to me before we go to Octagon Home July so we can use it. Well, what's your guys' opinion on it?
Underrated piece of equipment. What is it? I always forget what the name of it is. The little box that if they touch it, it lights up.
Oh, the REM pod?
REM pod. I think REM pods are very good. A lot of people, I feel like nowadays, what I see is that especially if there's any kind of known history of there being child or children spirit, I feel like a lot of people tend to use dolls, those little dolls that they can play with that, start moving or whatever if they touch them. But I feel like those get a little overused because I feel like I see those all the time. But underrated, I like the REM pod. I think that one's really good. What about you?
Well, it's not actually a piece of equipment. It's listening to your body. Because you can walk through a haunted location and be looking at all that equipment and you can miss something, or you can miss when they're interacting with you because you're looking at a screen or you're looking at whatever this equipment, and you're not in the moment trying to, get the evidence.
Because people are more sensitive than they realize. If you really pay attention, you can feel fluctuations in electromagneticity in the air. You can feel, and you can get those chills on your arm. You can feel temperature drops, or you can even hear things. Not everyone can, but some people can hear them. Like you said, you and Greg had heard that one. That was a disembodied voice, like right there.
Mhm.
So
There's no mistaking anybody didn't hear that. If they was around me and Greg, they would hurt too. If they'd said, "Oh, you're deaf in the doornail." I mean, that thing was loud, wasn't it, Greg?
Yeah.
It was like it sounded like it wanted to. It was in a military room. I mean, it honestly sounded like it was trying to say like a command or something other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird, so weird. And I wasn't rolling at the time on the recorder. Never. It's always something, man. So I've got REM pods, and I've never had them go off, and I'm glad, because if it did go off every investigation that we had, I'd be like, I don't know if we're setting these off or what's the deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if we can make them go off at Octagon. I think there's a good chance that it will.
I hope so, man, because like I said, I've had them for a good 5 to 6 months now, and they've not went off. And I'm glad. I'm tickled pink that it's not went off, because you don't want a piece of equipment that you take to every freaking location. I mean, it does all kinds of stuff. To me, that's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
This past Saturday, we had 2 phones with the Spirit Talker on the dining room table at Octagon, a REM pod, and a K2. Every piece of equipment at
Went
one
off.
time or another went off, and the K2 pretty much didn't stop.
The
And
K2 didn't stop.
yeah, and it answered when the Spirit Talker or the REM pod would go off. The K2 would also answer. It would go up to a different color.
So, like, if someone had asked a really good question, or someone asked kind of like, the spirit's like, okay, that's what I'm wanting you to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
The light would light up on the K2 meter, and it would light up red.
Oh, wow. See, I'm trying to get away from the K2. And I know people's going to say, why? Well, this is my reason why. Different things in the atmosphere will cause it to just give you a false positive. It'll just go off for random reasons. You're thinking, oh, wow, there's something interacting with it. No, it's not. So I'm switching over to the ghost meter.
Yeah.
Everybody I've talked to said the ghost meter is way better than the K2.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We're going to test it out. I got to get a ghost meter coming to me. So I put things to the test.
This K2 was sitting on a dining room table, a wooden dining room table at that. And there was no electricity, no reason for it to be doing that at all.
The phones were on airplane
Phones
mode.
were on airplane. And it was just constantly answering the questions, and either the REM pod or the Spirit Talker would say something then too.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I don't know why we don't video that stuff, but
it's always an afterthought.
It's always an afterthought. Like we're in the moment, and we're like, we don't think to video it, and then afterwards you're like, stupid, why didn't you do that? So
that's like I said, when we go to Octagon this time, there's going to be a video camera on Mary's room on the second floor at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope to God we make something mad. I don't want me to make it mad, but if it gets mad and you see the shadow come over and slam that door like Bear's got, hey.
Well, Mary Elizabeth was one of the more chatty and social spirits that we had this past weekend. She played during my Estes method. She played a full game of hide and seek with the guests that were there. And she even was playing, someone had a music box that played Amazing Grace. But it was just the music. It wasn't the lyrics.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And she, through the Estes method, was singing along to the song by just hearing the music.
Justin, I'm looking at you right now. Film that, buddy. Okay. Greg is right. Listen, Greg, film that, man.
film it. Yeah.
I think.
Same thing with us.
Well, I was
Mhm.
taking a lot of pictures during that time, and the pictures were very interesting. Like they were complete dark, and you could see his shoulders, but
Mhm.
there was a varying amount of smoke or fog around him, and it
Mhm.
changed pretty much every picture.
And there were even 2 or 3 frames that he took. I wasn't even in the picture.
Yeah, it completely covered him.
Kicked him out of the phone. Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
like he took the picture where I was sitting.
Right.
Like the shroud of mist made me disappear.
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you, folks, that Estes method is the shit. I'm telling you. That once it gets started, man, it's like you're opening up a can of whoop ice, as I call it in the paranormal.
Buckle up. Yeah.
It's like everything starts popping off, and man, what's going to be cool and wild is if we pick up anything that was at the historical society or the jail that comes through.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. All right, Greg. Let's talk about this Paranormal Adventures Event Management group that you got going on, man. What got that started? I know you had surgery with your hand a long time ago, but what led this into this? Was that part of it?
That was part of it. I was like, I've been doing the paranormal for a few years now, and I was basically I couldn't work because of my wrist, and I really was really bored.
Mhm.
And I was like, I have, I'm like, I can do this better than a lot of the companies that are out there. I guess I was kind of being a little narcissistic or whatever, but at the time, and I basically just like, I'm going to try my best to teach people how to do a proper paranormal investigation through these events. And more or less we have. There was a while that we had a lot of the celebrity paranormal guests at our events before COVID. And that kind of started because the Tennessee Wraith Chaser reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them first. They reached out to me and wanted to do an event with me, and we done it at Ashmore Estates, and that's kind of what got the celebrities coming to some of the events. But now I kind of only work with the celebrities that are kind of on the same like level of thinking that we are.
Wavelength, yeah.
Like Jack Kenna and some of them, and because I don't want them to go in there and explain something to somebody the wrong way or do something the wrong way or the way that I wouldn't do it. Because I don't want my company represented like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And you've done some good stuff, man. I'm proud of you. You brought some good people in.
Thank you.
Okay, so you just did the Octagon and the Old Stone Jail plus the Historical Society.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's coming up next for you?
We have a Paracon that we're going to in Paducah on May 27th that we're going to be speakers and vendors at. It's actually a free Paracon put on by Gavin and Paula Kelly of Truth or Legends and Journey into the Unknown, I think is their other series. And they were actually at the event this past weekend too. And then after that, I think there is a Paracon in July in Arkansas that we're going to try to attend. That's got Santiago Cirillo. He kind of put it together. And then after that, we're actually doing another event in August, on August the 12th at Octagon Hall. That I'm getting ready to make public, like who the guest is going to be and all that.
Jeez, man, you might as well just live there, like I said, last couple of months.
By now,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, it's crazy, but we're going to be working together too.
Yeah, Bear's just always he's like, y'all come whenever you want to. He said, I'm not going to turn you away. He's like, I like seeing you. And he said, so just come down whenever you want to. So that's what he says.
Yeah, we got projects that we're going to be working on together. So
Mhm.
I like this
Yeah.
little niche that we got. I don't like 15,000 people. I like a small
Yeah.
group and do our thing and go on. So
Mhm.
we definitely have some things coming up. I definitely want to do that one in West Virginia that you were telling me about.
The Haunted Majestic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. And on the Haunted Majestic, so the boat itself is crazy haunted, but then too, the guy who oversees it, like manages the property or the boat, I mean, he said that along the shore of the river where it's sitting, at night, he warned us specifically. He said, if you see a light on the edge of the shore, don't follow it. He said they're wisps.
Okay, so what's the wisps?
Wisps are like dark fairies, or sometimes they can also be like malevolent spirits.
They try to lead you into trouble, basically.
Oh, so
Mhm.
it's another little Thomas effer. I see how it is. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, me and that little me and that little entity has some unfinished business to talk
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah. Oh, and after the podcast, Justin continued some pictures that was taken on the Haunted Majestic. That's
Yeah.
one of the craziest things. Like, I had a SLS camera in like the big ballroom or the big like entertainment room that has a bar.
Mhm.
I was looking at it and I seen a ball of light go up, and it tried
From the floor.
and it tried to
Map it.
map and like make a form, but it was so fast that it couldn't. And we took a picture at the same time, and we caught a freaking like we caught what hell was it? We caught like a portal opening up
Yeah.
from the floor.
You could see the part in the floor where the portal opened. You could see light coming out of the portal. And then you see this entity, which was it mapped the shape of a human, but only from like the waist up. And it was coming out of the floor and shooting up to the ceiling.
Yeah. And it was taken at the same time that SLS mapped it. And I said, Justin, take a picture.
No. I was kind of already at that time kind of just doing rapid shot and was just kind of like doing click, 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 click. And I just thankfully happened to be pointing the same direction he was at when that happened. And it was, I think, not one telling the other. It just was, I think, sheer dumb luck. But that we got it, and then I got it on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, man. You hit the nail on the head right there. It's just luck of the draw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 0% of like 0.1% that you're going to get anything. And when you do get it, man, it's something big.
Because I think people who have abilities or have anything like that, they have things that they can do and that they can control, and they can maybe make a certain outcome with their abilities. But when it comes to photography, 100% sheer dumb luck.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. There's some stuff I see that's just like, is that photoshopped? I mean, come on.
Right.
And we got a couple of other pictures around the mirror that's in that same room, and we have a theory that mirror is also a portal.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much that was coming in and out of it.
Because the picture, you can see figures. So I knew there was only 3 people on that boat. It was me. Oh no, 4. 4, but only 3 were in that room when I took that picture. And it was me, Greg, and our teammate Renee. And I knew where they were at when I took those pictures. And what showed up, because like this whole back wall of the boat behind the bar, the whole wall was a mirror. So to like make the ballroom look bigger, I guess. But but you could see there were humanoid, like you could see clearly like a head and shoulders, and you could see they were leaning forward, and it looks like they were almost like a 3D movie coming out of the mirror.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, luck of the draw. Luck of the
Right?
No.
draw. Jeez.
Right.
Greg, my friend, how can folks stay in touch with your paranormal adventure event management to figure, not to figure out, but shit, to, excuse me, folks. I mean, drop the S word there. Sorry. I'm trying to be a good host now. I'm trying to quit the cussing. When I can, I catch myself. But anyway, how can folks stay in touch with you to check on all this paranormal adventures, event management things that you have coming up, so that way you can come out and attend one of your events, dude?
Yeah. On Facebook, all you have to do, like when you search, is just put at paranormal events and it comes up. Or you can put the whole word in there, Paranormal Adventures Event Management. For sure come up too. And we're also on Instagram and things like that. And I try to put, when we're having an event or we're doing something that we want the public, to see or involved in, I try to put it on all the platforms. So.
We're trying to also, take over the world, but no, we're trying to expand and make our way over to TikTok too. So we're trying to slowly expand, but
TikTok is under BOO Crewe, but you spell Crewe CREWE.
No, K. That is K.
No.
Okay.
CREWE.
Yeah, no. See, bam.
I
mean, see, you're very glad you got Justin there to help you. Like, I need a sidekick too. It's like, sometimes I need a translator because I get so frustrated and I'd step back. But anyway, I look forward to working with y'all some more, and we're definitely going to work on a lot more stuff. I'm very excited. And
we'll have to get Justin out to the battlefield there that's close to you, because that place is pretty lit sometimes too. So
I don't go back there at all.
You don't?
No. It's just, for me, it's just too close to the road.
Too close to the road.
And I've got enough stuff there that's, filled my curiosity. I mean, I know there's stuff there,
Yeah.
If you want to, man, you have my full permission as always. You don't have to ask me. Just do it. Start posting your events on the Beyond the Paranormal podcast page.
I'll do it, man.
Awesome.
So that way people will know. And yeah. So everybody who's out there listening, thank you all so much for giving up your time to come here, listen, talk with us, and just have a good old time, man. It's just three guys chatting about the ghost hunting. That's about it. So, about them boos out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got another cool guest coming up next Tuesday. It's going to be Miranda Young. She's a ghost biker explorations, historic Scott County Jail. I think she's the owner of that, possibly, or co-owner maybe. But she's going to be on here. She's going to be talking about the historic Scott County Jail. That's another location that we are wanting to go to. So yeah. A lot of this stuff's going to be for the YouTubes when I can sit down and get all this stuff. I need a aid. I need a personal aid to help me with all this stuff. I am not kidding you. Oh, brothers and sisters.
I do too. If I didn't put stuff in my calendar, I'd totally forget. So.
Oh, you should see my notepad, how I've got all this stuff listed here. It's just like, oh, good God. But I can figure it out because I was the one that did it. So if anybody else looked at it, I'd be like, where do I start? Where does this go? Oh, my God. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate everybody who's tuned in, especially I love my guests. Thank you all so much. You're my brothers. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Of course.
we'll be working, like I said, along the way. So, folks, tune in next Tuesday. And always, you can go back on the YouTube page for Beyond the Paranormal Podcast and check out this interview. Thank you, Justin and Greg, so much. Thank you all so much, man. See y'all.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Bye.